Hi, my name is Julia Ernst, and today I'll be performing Que fais-tu, Blanche Toutarelle from Romeo and Juliet by Gounod. Des poésies je cherche vos maîtres. Est-il encore chez vous, messeigneurs capillés? Voyons un peu si vos dignes valets à ma voix ce matin oseront reparaître. Que fais-tu, blanche tourterelle, dans ce lit de vautour, quelque jour déployant ton aile, dans ses bras les amours, oh, va-t'en et la bataille, pour frapper de son détail, avec son aiguille. Laissez-le ses oiseaux de proie, tourterelle qui fait ta joie, des amoureux baisers. Gardez bien la belle qui vivra verra, votre tourterelle vous échappera. Vous échappera. Armez loin de vers bocage, pas l'amour atterré, alentour de ces nids sauvages. Oh, je crois soupirer. Les vautours sonnent la corée, le chanson qui fait céder résonne à grand bruit. Cependant, le douce ivresse dans son quand une tendresse aux astres de la nuit. Gardez bien la belle qui vivra verra, votre tourterelle vous échappera. Votre tourterelle vous échappera. Gardez bien la belle. Votre tourterelle vous échappera.
I can't believe you're a freshman.
Thank you.
Really, really terrific. Beautiful.
Thank you.
A unique, beautiful, rich mezzo-soprano, wonderfully expressive. I mean, honestly, it really terrific. How long have you been working on this aria?
This one for about a month.
Wow. Okay. Tell me what you liked about what you heard and what you did. What did you like about your performance? In other words, what did you feel like was working?
What was working?
Yeah. I know it's weird to sort of think in those ways, but I think it's important to be objective in what we do well and maybe what you don't like.
Yes, I feel like I did a good job on like the legato lines. I've been working a lot on that, and I also feel like throughout working with my voice teacher, we've definitely got like those jumps, like the vocal jumps. I think those are a lot better
Yeah,
for me as well.
good. What do you wish was better?
I think pronunciation could always be better, and I also think rhythmically it could always be more precise.
I would agree that you have some French things. I don't know that tonight is the night for me to pick. There is one big one that you need to get right, and that is que fais-tu? Tu,
Cute,
right? It's que fais-tu, not tu.
cute.
Right. Yeah. It's like tu. But we'll get to that. The thing that I want to talk about first is the sort of recit. So tell me, and I'm gonna work a little bit on some vocal things, but this is sort of the first thing that popped out. So tell me what's happening in the scene.
So basically, the character Stefano is outside of the Capulet house, and he's looking for Romeo. And so he's wondering where he is. He's wondering if he's still inside the house with Juliet. So he's basically trying to like draw distraction so Romeo can escape. And so he's basically trying to like start a fight, kind of.
Right. And how would you describe him as a character?
I think he's a fighter. He's feisty. He's younger. Yeah.
I got. I
Yeah.
definitely. I really got. I feel like the thing about singing, arias when you go into auditions, and we all know this. It's like you're putting yourself in that situation right away.
Yeah.
So everything you can do for yourself to help you get there before you want to do. So what I would say is that I definitely got the flavor of the character, but I wanted it a little bit more specific, basically in the text, in the beginning. So what do you say? What do you say? What's the little recit part that you say?
I say, since yesterday I have sought in vain my master. Is she still at the home? If with you, my lord Capulet, let us see if your worthy servants come at my voice this morning will dare to reappear.
Okay, let's just sing that. Just sing the beginning of it. And again, I'm looking at in this little moment, and I really am gonna go to vocal stuff in a second, but this is something I think you want to think about. So just sing the recit part again, and you can just sort of start when the aria starts. Okay?
Épuisé, je cherche vos maîtres. Est-il encore chez vous, messieurs Capulet? Voyons peu si vos dînes valaient. En ma voix ce matin, oseront reparaître.
Good. Where's the Capulet house?
Capulet house.
I mean, for you, because that's what you're singing, right? You're talking about calling out the servants, right?
I picture it over here, kind of.
Okay, wherever you want. But
Okay.
I think you need to be real clear about that.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
I think you need to know that because you're absolutely right. You're trying to cause a ruckus, right? Um, again, from what I know, I think that Romeo and Juliet before this are actually off getting hitched, but you don't necessarily know that, right? But I think that's what I'm after, and it's only a small thing that's taking me forever to say, but it's that I want to know, I want to see from you in that recitative that you have your eye on that house, and that we as a listener absolutely get that. You can strut around all you want to, which you should, but I think. We want to know. I mean, you're like, hey, what's going on? You know what I mean? So that you're trying to get their attention. So I just want to see you do that again with a really sort of just in your mind's eye, know where that house is. You don't have to stare at it, but just so point of reference, and that will free you up, I think, for the rest of it. See? Yeah.
Depuis je cherche vos maîtres. Est-il encore chez vous, messieurs Capulet? Voyons un peu si vos dînes
play the next little part, Carol? Can you just play it? And you stay where you were, dear. Go, but stay with the house. And can you just play that little bit?
Mhm.
Great. So, this view thing just drives me crazy. Julia,
Yes.
when that happens, can you talk some more so I can see you? I
Yes.
hate, I'm such a loser about Zoom. I should be used to it.
Hello.
There we go. Yeah, so that was better. So like that, I just want to know that you're like, and I know you were doing this aria, not thinking about that, and I get it. But I'm just something that I can leave with you that I think you want to follow up on is that
Yes.
you're
Definitely.
really clear about, particularly the rest, because the aria, in terms of the dramatics, I mean, I think it does. You were singing about white doves,
Mhm.
which kind of represent. I mean, I think he's sort of making fun of them in a way, but that she's going to get freed, your little dove, and come with
Yeah.
us, right? But at any rate, let's talk about vocal stuff. Um, I love that you're working on legato, and I agree with your teacher. I think that's what I'm hearing is sort of course we went. I know that you have some French work to do. I agree with you. So do that. I think your French being a first year is pretty great.
Yeah.
I think you have the sort of feel for it. They're just sounds that you're making that are just not right.
Yeah.
Um, but um, but I think you're sort of over holding in your mouth a little bit. Again, I think you're there. When I listen to you, your voice sounds wonderfully lined up. But I wonder if maybe you're just over pronunciating a little bit. Um, even in the recitative, I just want you to start it again um, and just try to feel the vowels longer.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I think you said depuis, it's depuis, right? Depuis. So just start it again. Really, really long, long vowels.
Depuis hier, je cherche vos maîtres. Est-il encore chez vous, messeigneurs capulet?
Keep going.
Voyons si vos dires valaient à ma voix ce matin oseront reparaître.
Going.
Que fais-tu, blanche tourterelle, dans ce lit de vautour, quelques jours déployant ton aile, tous les amours.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So what I want to hear again, there's nothing about your sound that is driving me crazy. I think it's terrific. Again, I think I want to see if you can feel like you're just, and this is going to sound strange, but maybe a little more release of your jaw so that when you take your breath in, because they're all connected, aren't they? Our breath, our preparation, so that when you take your breath, you feel a little bit more sort of like breathing up that way, down in the body, of course, right?
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about your way when you prepare to make a sound. You do what?
I definitely engage my lower body, and then I do try to, raise the soft palate and prepare for whatever vowel I'm supposed to sing and breathe. But sometimes I just take a quick breath because I get nervous.
No, you are. I mean, and again, I'm sure there are things that you're working on with your teacher that are, not things that I want to go to, because this is a master class. But I think an easy fix is, again, this is just a mental thing that in your preparation, when you think about the early yawn or whatever it is for you that gets your larynx stable and gets your palate active, you're in the middle, so you need to jack your palate all the way up, do you? Uh-uh. Don't need to do that, but you want to feel height. So maybe thinking a little bit more. I sometimes describe it as sort of spinning on the hard palate, so that you. I just want to feel like your speech is not so, so that you're working a little less harder, and that sort of goes hand in hand with legato, really, but easier said than done, right? So can you just speak the aria part? Just
Yes.
it as in intone it. Just sort of like that.
Que fais-tu,
Okay, so
Blanche?
so part of the issue is French, isn't it? Kifi, I'm asking you to do kifi. So, how do we do that? I have a better idea. Let's just sing it on vowels without the consonants. But really feel kind of like I sometimes say, like the diction is on your upper molars, sort of in the middle, right there.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try. Higher, higher, Julia.
Hi.
Maybe release the jaw ever so slightly, so it's not so simple. I already like it better.
What did you say?
I
Sorry.
already like it better. Do it again and keep going just like that. Let's try the diction now, and we'll just keep working and sort of work through the piece in that way. Does that feel, how does that feel?
It feels good. It feels free.
Yeah, it's not terribly different from what you're doing. I just think, and listen, I don't necessarily in my own teaching talk about placing the voice because I think that sometimes that's helpful for people. Sometimes it's really helpful. And sometimes it causes constriction in other places. But we both know that eventually, if you get out of the way, the voice will find the right kind of forward motion and placement. And so that's ultimately what we're trying to do. Get out of the way so your voice can find where it needs to go. So I also think while we're stopped, these pages I got my pages all turned up here. Hang on. 120. Lord. Okay. Que fais-tu, blanche tourterelle? I mean, again, that's not a high note, don, right, on an F, but you still need to make sure that that you feel enough sort of, I like that you're not going, that you're not killing yourself, because again, it's not super duper high, but I still think you need to prep that a little bit better and stay on your air and resist, right? Is that something that rings for you, that when you take your breath in and you feel your back and all of that, right? And then do you think about leaning out a little bit, sort of in your rib cage? Is that something that, okay, is
Yes.
that, what's that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. All right, so I agree. So, I mean, it's funny about breath. I always think, whenever I think about breath, I'm going to talk about Greer now. I remember one time when we were singing together, and he just had air for days. And I'm like, what are you thinking? How are you? And I said, are you thinking out? Are you thinking down? Are you thinking in? And he just very simply said, isn't it both? I was like, yeah. I mean, you know. Okay, so let's go. Do you mind doing that again and try?
Yes.
And try. We got about 5 minutes. You know what? Just sing, and I'll stop you when I hear something. But
Okay, you want to sing it on the words? On the
yeah, on the words. Higher.
Do you want me to stop? I'm sorry.
Go, go. Good, very nice. Now here you can be a little more disjunct, right? But still with legato under it. Keep going. I mean, I think I just got a message that we got 5 minutes. Okay, so yeah, go ahead. Good. Okay. So, let's look at that. Garde bien la belle. Yeah, just sing. Let's just sing. Yeah, let's just do that little part again.
Garde bien la belle, qui vivra verra, votre tour de reine vous échappera, votre tour de reine vous échappera. Good.
So let's kind of skip, because I think like I said, I just got a message that let's skip to the kind of the end. So I think what I have to say to you, that the one thing that I would say before, look at the recit and have a clear idea in your options about what that is. Again, I keep forgetting that you're a freshman.
Thank you.
Crazy. You know, so yeah. And the other thing is, I think, just making sure that you're always, because, you know, you are a young one. So you can't take for granted that you're always going to breathe your larynx down and get into your body, and also then go keep it not in your mouth.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a mezzo thing sometimes. You know, I don't think it doesn't sound to me like you're trying to over darken. It just sounds like it gets a little bit trapped in your mouth. Yeah. And that's a speech thing, right? Again, I'll say this. It's just that, well, anyway, but let's do the end, because I want to hear the cadenza thing. Yeah. So why don't we start? How about just maybe at page 130 at Garde bien la belle before the end.
Garde bien la belle, qui vivra verra, votre tour de reine vous échappera, votre tour de reine vous échappera. Garde bien
it back up again. This is
Yes.
fantastic. Seriously. And I'll tell you what I loved. I love that you had everything rounded and gathered. That's what's getting in your way on the A flat.
Yep.
I'm telling you that I want your sound higher, I don't necessarily mean overly brightened.
Hmm.
You know, it's I think height is a different thing than just, and I think that's happening maybe by what I asked for, that you were, because the, is it an A flat or an A natural? I can't tell. Oh, the little ba-da, but that's hard anyway, I think. But you want to be a little um just super legato before that, right? Even though it's garde bien la belle, underneath it's like legato in your body. Let's do that. The cadenza with the C is piece of cake for you.
Oh, thank you.
That's right. That's fun. You're like, ah. That's great.
Thank you.
No, I think it's truthful. Garde bien. Let's do that. Yeah.
Gardez bien la belle qui vivra verra votre tour de reine vous échappera votre tour de reine vous échappera. Oh,
Beautiful. But why is that one? Why did that one work? Is it just support? Is it just concentration?
yes, I think it was definitely the support and picturing the legato sort of like underneath me definitely helped.
Because that was right in tune, that one. The others, they're always just a teeny tiny bit under,
Yeah.
which would, yeah. Listen, this is really fantastic. So that's what I'm leaving you with. Recit, check that out, work
Yep.
on your French. And I'm
Yep.
not working on it because you probably haven't even had French diction yet, I'm assuming. But that there are there are quite a few things that you're just mispronouncing.
Yep.
Okay, so get on that. But it's a pleasure to hear you.
Thank you so much. It was an honor to sing for you.
Hey, beautiful, beautiful work.
Thank you. Thank you.
You guys unmute and give her a hand.
Woo! Woo!
Nice.
Yes.
Hey, girl.
Hi, my name is Alison Wagesbach, and I will be singing Was du mir bist by Eric Korngold. Was du mir bist, der Ausblick in ein schönes Land, wo
Gorgeous, Allison. Tell me, first of all, what else do you sing?
Okay. So I did 2 for my junior recital, and those were gorgeous, and I loved them. La Vie Impérieuse, and I can't think of the other one, but that's.
I was just curious about it was beautiful, and I love this song, and I think it's a great song. And I mean, I know some Korngold, but I don't know Opus 22.
Yeah, it's not super popular. I tried to do as much research as possible on the actual song and then the poetry itself. There's nothing on either of the poets. It's 2 separate poets, and no one knows where they lived, where they died, like when they died. They have on the 2nd and 3rd of this cycle, they have that poet's birth and death date, but other than that, we know absolutely nothing. So we have no background. Every time I looked it up, it wasn't even on like the IPA wasn't even on IPA Source, and I was like, wow, like it's a little obscure when it's not even on IPA Source. So Dr. Smith had to like help me out with all of that, so I didn't have like the IPA to look at. So I noticed a few things while I was listening to it again. I was like, oh, that vowel is wrong.
I love this song. I think it's terrific. So tell me, again, this is part of what I do. What did you like? What did you like about what you did?
I liked that I actually kept my eyes mainly focused in one place, because that's something I struggle with when I'm performing. I tend to go every which direction, so that's something I really have to think about. I worked really hard to get like the lines to go all the way through to the end. That didn't always happen. I noticed that, and that was a little bugging me a little bit when that happened. But I really did work for it, and then I really paid close attention to try to make sure that I wasn't overblowing, and that I let myself like take the breath for what the phrase that I need, as Dr. Smith.
There you go.
Over and over and over again. So I tried to make sure that I did that, so that I had room to grow in the places that needed to grow, and you could have that like expansive kind of feeling. Right. And then like even though this song never gets like super quiet, let the quiet moments be quiet, and then grow into this beautiful flourishing end that I love.
So what didn't you like?
There was a few vowels in there that I did not do right. Sometimes I never fully let.
I guess what I'm gonna. I think so just sort of a big overarching thing that you feel like maybe you wish is better in your singing, or specifically to this. You were about to say something about breath, and I cut you off. Go ahead.
I mean, please cut me off. But it was mostly that I didn't let. It wasn't buoyant enough, so I wasn't like fully letting everything go in the way it needed to, like physically in my body. I was kind of holding on to the tension that I had. Even when I kind of let it go, I never got fully to the place and like the spin that I know it could have had.
I agree about your breath. I think what did I say? I would like more sort of just breath support and breath connection in your body. The thing that I sort of heard, and again, this is somebody, I don't know you, I don't really know your voice. That's why I asked what other things you're working on, because I thought it might. Do you do any arias? Are there any arias that you sing?
Yes. So we've worked on like Ahifus. We've done a bunch of other ones that I'm blanking on.
That gives me an idea. I think that the thing that I want to see if we can get you to do, it sounds a little bit and seems a little bit, and I love that you're being so meticulous about, your dynamics and all of that kind of thing, but it sounds a little perched to me.
Okay.
Like you're being a little careful. Like you're, I mean, the sound is always beautiful and it's even, and there's nothing that made me go, it was really a lovely performance. But I think I wonder if we could just get you to release a little bit into your body and just not be so careful. So I want to do what I did. I want you to just start with just vowels. And I don't want you to feel like you're putting your voice anywhere. I just want you to sing the vowels, take your breath, make your space, and just let it sort of roll out. That's what I want to start with. And then we'll go from there. So, do you want to just go phrase at a time, maybe, or
Okay.
is that are you do you have a piano? Do you have a keyboard there? I have a keyboard. What do you need?
I do. It's just like over there, so I'd have to like run back and forth.
All right, so here we go. Sorry, da. Yeah. Oh. This. Let's do this instead of that. Let's do like an oi 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 oi. A really just released oi 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 oi. Just let your sound pour out. Oi oi. Can you do that phrase again? I want to make you a little bit. Yeah. Can you keep going? I like this. Beautiful. So with the oi oi oi, if you can just I'm a big one for trying to one of my things is to sort of isolate. We don't want your articulators to necessarily get in the way of your sound, right? Articulators are for articulating. We don't actually need our tongue or any of that to actually phonate, do we? So when this exercise is really about oi 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 oi, as loosey goosey like as you can make it. I loved this, and I'll tell you, this is a master class, and so I saw a little bit of tremble on some of your high notes, and I get to talk about this because I had that too. So it's not anything to, but it usually is a symptom of something else. And I think for you, it's just that you're maybe trying to over perch or something instead of feeling like the top notes kind of go up and back really instead of that way. That you just stay, I call it in the tube. Is that something that you understand? It might not be the same language, but
yeah, I completely understand. Most of the time when that happens, I typically get my high notes pretty easily. Most of the time when that happens, it's because I let the tension grab right here so that it doesn't hit in the place that it's supposed to. But once I'm like loose and free, then I can just pop those suckers up and it's no big problem. But I definitely was not as loose as what I should have been in this vicinity. And then that made the jaw go all a quiver.
And I think and again, as we know, it's rarely about your jaw, it's about everything else around it. Exactly. But what I just saw with that was just that you were freer and you were open. And so let's try this page with words, with that kind of feeling. And again, it's not scientific, but of oi, 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 it just frees your tongue, keeps you from locking. Therefore, other stuff can't get out of hand too. And stay on your breath, stay on your body. Duh, right? Okay. Can you just speak that line for me, just the German?
Der Ausblick in ein schönes Land.
Yeah, you didn't sing, you spoke it correctly, but it's der, right? It was a little bit da. Da, so nice open jaw, right? Release jaw. Da, and then you're ready to go, right? But you can't do da, then you're easy peasy.
Nope.
Can you, hey, I'm sorry. Hey. Allison, can you, again, kind of prepare instead of do, just, I realize I'm maybe upsetting your apple cart, but we're just having fun, right?
Yes.
So just already feel like you've made the space for that. You already have that. But if you try to start from do, because of course the C sharp is not a high note, but it's not low. And it's always about the note before, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Backing up. Keep going. Good. I think I feel like, again, because I listened to your performance, but I also listened to it before this class. So I listened to your recording actually. You're one of the ones that I listened to because I didn't know the song. But I think this already to my ear sounds better and freer. I don't know if it feels any differently to you. But I think again, I just want to keep working in this way with I don't think the vowels are so great. I think I'm going to keep going with oi, 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 and let's just work through this next high part. But so starting at the top of page 4, and that gathers you in a nice way. The oi, 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 right? Okay, let's try the words now. Was at that tempo 1. Good. So now it's beautiful. So now, again, this is, I always say, when you think about a clarinetist or an oboist or a violinist, it's like the only job of an oboe, the only function, the only reason for its existence is to make music. For us, our instrument has to do lots of stuff. It's like you don't stir a pot of soup with an oboe. I guess you could, but really all it has to do is make pretty music. Our instruments, they have to do lots of different things that have nothing to do with singing. And I think those are the things that are often the trickiest to sort of figure are getting in our way. And for most of us, it has to do with our speech pattern, and how we over enunciate. Of course we want clean, clear, beautiful diction. And your diction is really pretty good. And I sound like I'm talking out of two sides of my mouth because on the one hand, I really do want you to feel like you can just let the sound roll out. But I also want, I feel like you're sort of do, ga, ga, a little bit overly sort of pronouncing and holding in your mouth. It's a little bit what I was saying to Julia, that you want to feel like, I almost feel like I have a mouth here. Here and here and here, because in our mouths, what do we have? we got gums and tongue and lips and all that soft tissue, right? You can't get any, I think you want to aim a little bit higher, like maybe behind the eyes. That's the Pavarotti thing, behind the eyes. Worked for him. Um, so I think maybe, in your breath and your sort of preparation of air of when you I don't know if it's an early yawn for you. I don't know what you think about that's maybe a little past your because you're a senior. But when you prepare yourself, when you get your larynx hopefully floppy and happy and out of the way, that you're just thinking a little bit like ah, not necessarily in a bright way. I like that you've got a sort of nice gathered sort of position that's a little more vertical, but I want to see if you can get a little bit, yeah, a little higher place. Low in the body, high in the place. Yeah, let's try. Talk, is that okay? So don't over enunciate. Let it be lazy speech. Lazy. Keep. So that's what I'm going to say is don't overpronounce right now. So aim for high, but I also don't want but just I want you to form the vowels, but I don't want you to overdo. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Keep going. Right where you left off is good. Better. Super legato. Keep going. So super legato and not pronounced. I think that's better.
Okay.
I feel like it's I think in the low you kind of went back to your old ways a little bit. Yes. But I think the sort of upper middle it's better and it's less again, exactly. It's less overly enunciated. You can go back and do that. It's like, yes. Of course, you got, coaches always yelling at young artists, I can't understand you. And you just end up like, no. And that also, it just impedes the legato. It impedes your breath. Like it's a no-win. So that you feel like, yeah, the vowels are super duper long. I mean, I don't know let me ask you, where in your sort of imagination, this is kind of a strange thing to say, but where do you feel like your voice lives?
Typically with the rep that I do,
no, not rep, like in your body when you're singing this song. Where do you in your imagination? Where do you sort of feel your voice? Is it in,
what I want to feel and what I sometimes feel, and Dr. Smith has to say, hello, what are you feeling? I love it to feel when it's right here and it's like right in front of my face and like up in my, like not quite my eyes because that's a little too low, like even for me. So in my like upper register, it's like when I hit it, like, I mean, right here, he makes me do this all the time. I ping my forehead all the time so that I can get myself to exactly where I need to be. And then once I get into like the crazy upper there, it's like up in the stratosphere around here, but I can like think of it coming from above here. But a lot of the time I find myself, and he says, Allie, what are you doing? It'll fall back a little bit and then I won't get the resonance. And so I have to ping myself in the forehead a lot.
Yeah. So I think that what happens is you get a little waylaid. Because I agree. I think in the middle voice, in attempt to maybe trying to get it high, it just gets a little caught in your mouth. And I think the answer to that is really lots of practice with lots of vowel, like and lots of, the not fun stuff for you, which is that sort of not because you don't have it, but because you're a soprano, you like to sing high. But at the nicht schleppen, the ovandra, that you really, can we do that just for fun?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can we do that on an umlaut, but not like an e, not a choir umlaut, but like e, a really e, 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 an e with a round lip. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Now we're cheating because that's a lot easier than open vowels, right? So do it again, and I want you to do it on a like with a zoo before it. Zoo, just a sort of non-committal ooh, but with focus and like a reverse megaphone, which is one of my favorite sort of analogies. That we feel the pharynx open, ooh, but then you go. Uh-huh. Try that. Try it again with just a zoo at the beginning, not zoo.
Oh, sorry.
It was totally my fault. But the zoo is great because it gives you, it sort of zips you into your breath, and also z is a voice consonant, so you get a healthy closure of the chord, which we want, right? So so try that again, zoo, and just again, not like a choir, ooh, which you're not doing, so that it's sort of released, but it's definitely an ooh.
Okay.
Okay. Good. Can you put the words in there? What's that feel like? Be honest.
It's weird because this is a lot freer than what it was before, and that is, I'm not used to it being as free because it is so low, if that makes any sense.
It does make
sense. When it's higher, it's like completely placed differently, but because it's lower and we just popped right up there, I think that's part of my problem, is that I'm not thinking well enough in advance to notice that like I've just popped up, but now we're about to pop way back low again, and like getting myself not locked in one placement, if that makes any sense.
It makes total sense. And I think that's ultimately what we all want. And I think, I do with myself and with my students, I love a sort of slidey ooh, like whoa. I'm not singing now because it'd be ugly. But I think because ultimately we don't want to think about our voice in sort of pieces. Of course we have to. Of course you've got your low voice. We're women, we've got middle, low, and high. But the idea is for it to feel like one thing, so that you're not micromanaging, and so I think, again, that maybe, if there's something that I think I would like for maybe you to examine, it's that when I first heard you, it sounded slightly perchy, and like I wanted a little more release in your larynx, just so that it's nice and happy and you're not sort of, I can't go into that in a masterclass, but that's, I think, again, I'm not talking about anything crazy, but just on your inhalation that you feel that release, and that you sort of practice in that sort of slidey connected way all up and down your scale, and don't ignore your middle and low voice. Plus, I think that I think probably have more sound than I realize, because I'm hearing you. It's a very frustrating thing to hear. But I think that's the thing. I know we didn't really get through. I don't have a lot of artistic insight into this, except I love that you keep asking a question and answering it. I think there's something so, I don't know. I love this song. I'm really glad to have been introduced to it, because I love Korngold, and I do think he's underrated. But this song, I mean, Opus 22, I was like, Opus 22, I couldn't, I mean, I didn't really have time to look, but I even just, you know, in my own music and stuff, I couldn't, I don't have any of that, so.
That's all thanks to Dr. Smith. He pulled that and was like, I want you to listen to this because I think you'd like it. And I was like, okay. And he just knows all kinds of things that is.
On a recital? Are you?
Yeah, so I'm putting on a senior recital, so I'm trying to do the whole Dreilieder.
Opus 22. Mm-hmm. And are you going on to grad school or?
That's the $20 bajillion question. I would like to, and whether or not I do that this coming semester or if I wait a year is kind of on the brink. Paying for it is hard, and if you're having to do it via Zoom instead of in person, that's something that I need to take into consideration. It's definitely something that I want to do. I'm going to get my master's in vocal performance and then my doctorate in vocal pedagogy and do the whole thing. But I don't particularly know.
Cool. So other than the Corn Gold, what are you doing in your recital?
Oh, I was planning on doing Song to the Moon. We'll see if that happens. I'm doing a Jake Hagee cycle because it's gorgeous and hard.
Which one?
And
Jake
I am doing The Faces of Love. So he like wrote 5 different pieces for 5 different artists, and it's gorgeous and stunning and wonderful. And then Dr. Smith pulled a bunch of obscure French pieces, and I love them a lot. No. I'd never heard of any of them before, so I'm super excited about those. I have 3 French pieces that I get to do, and then 2 Puccini.
Great. Well, good luck. It's great to hear you, and you sound beautiful, and good luck on your recital and everything.
Thank you so much for working with me. I really appreciate it.
Brava.
Yay!
Okay, so yes, actually, if y'all have not had a chance, there's a recording of Nancy on YouTube doing the Repertoire, which is kind of outstanding. It's kind of amazing. So
really,
y'all should go listen to it.
No, you really shouldn't.
Oh, it was great. I loved it.
Hello, my name is Emily Acuna, and today I will be performing Tu che di Gio sei cinta from Turandot by Puccini.
I have to say, I love this aria. It has always been one of my favorite arias. And you sang it beautifully.
Thank you.
So you're a senior, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Great. So tell me a little bit about you. Just give me a little snapshot about what this aria is about, what's going on.
Well, Turandot is trying to get out of marrying Kalaf, and the only way that she's able to do that is if she finds out his real identity. And the only person who knows his real identity is Lou. And so when Lou reveals that, she reveals that she's not going to reveal his identity because, you know, she knows what love is, and Turandot soon will as well. And she would rather love than reveal his identity.
Right. So I mean, if you had one sort of word or description of you, what would it be?
Of me?
Yeah. Am I putting you on the spot? I don't.
No. Oh, I don't know. That's a hard question. Like, in what regard?
Of the character of you.
Oh, okay. Of you. She's very passionate and very emotional.
Yeah. And noble.
Yes.
I mean, I that's the thing that gets me. It's like, you know, even Turandot was impressed.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that's saying something. So I think, yeah, I just think it's good. I know that how long have you been working on this aria?
Since September.
Okay. And are you offering it for auditions, or what are you just, is it just for fun or just for on your results?
I'm going to perform it at my senior recital.
Okay, great. All right. The thing that so now you got to tell me what you liked about it. What do you think is working in what you're doing and what you did? And I just want to say the reason for this really is, and my students they get so sick of it when I say that. But I'm sorry, part of your job is figuring out something you did right, you know, so that you at least know that, and then it's okay to say this, because we all are more than willing to say this didn't work, right? So I want you to really objectively tell me something that you liked.
I liked I liked my I like that I was able to finally get enough breath to make it through all the phrases. That's the thing I've been working on a lot. So
yeah, you did. And what do you wish, what do you hope gets better? What didn't you like?
I didn't love the ending phrase. I thought that I was forcing the high B flat a little too much to try and get it out, so that it was the same kind of presence as the A flat, but it wasn't working. So
is that always kind of a thing? Is that I mean,
kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Well, I thought it was beautiful. The thing that I need to hear in this aria is the oiliest, like legato, slippery Italian that you can possibly muster, and really on every note, and that will help you. Now that's you know, that's about breath, isn't it? And listen, I'm just saying, I know that part of what you're working on is to make the phrases. So let's just agree that you may not make them right now.
Okay.
And that's okay. Because I think it's really important, if you sing Puccini, that you, and I'm sure you're working on this, but that it's all, especially this particular opera, this aria. So let's just start it and kind of work through it. Yeah, let me find. Let's just start at the beginning. Good, beautiful. I want you to do one of my slidey, what's your favorite vowel?
O.
O, I love O. Yes, terrific. I love O for a lot of reasons. A big reason I love O is that if you breathe in on an O, just take a good breath on an O. You can really feel that go blit and that go blit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So breathe in O and let's have a little Z before it. Zo, zo, and just pour it out. Like I don't like as sort of do you know what I mean by legato, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like nothing's getting through there. So on an O.
Zo, zo.
Even zo. So zo. He's got those slurs. You need to really feel that.
Okay.
Yeah. Just forget the two and just the phrase. Actually, do you mind trying? Do you mind trying an oo? It's really the first cousin of O. It has a lot of the qualities that O has. It's you know it's an open vowel sort of, but it has some focus. And so I don't want you to think about focusing your voice necessarily, but feel that sort of sense of do you know what a megaphone is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like so we want this sort of opposite feeling. Oh, so it's sort of a non-committal oo. It's closer to an O than you would think. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Do that phrase again and let's sorry, I can't see. So da, 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 da. Let's do the next phrase and let's do oi 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 oi. Again, I just want you to feel legato with because I can tell you've been well taught. Again, I have no desire to upset what's going on because but I think what I hear is that it's again a little bit, and I say this to just about all of my students again because of what I said about speech, you know, and a lot of my students are from Ohio. You know, I'm Southern. My ah vowel, my whole life is like somewhere on the West Coast. It's so far back. Aw. You know, we all have speech things that get in our way. And I think because we communicate, and that's what I was saying about, you know, an oboist does not stir soup with his instrument. We have to do all kinds of stuff. We have constrictor muscles that keep food from going in the wrong hole. We have to talk. You know, there are all these things we have to do. And in our daily life, we all are sort of da 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 da. But that's not where we want it for singing. We don't want it to be go, go, go. Yes, we want a nice sort of tall production, which you have, sort of the combination of this, the zygomatic arch. That's a $10,000 word. But that feeling, facial posture matters, right? And I think you have pretty good facial posture. I like that I'm seeing this, but it's a little mouthy. And again, this is just something you can run back and tell your teacher and see if you get a result from it. But let's go back to the next phrase, the one that starts on the A flat. Da tanta fiamma. Your Italian's on the bottom. The other thing I will say, I think you should try to get your hands on a Turandot score and get the aria from the score if you can. I think just, you know, these are easy to read, but I think you'll just be happier that you learn it from the actual source. I mean, we all use these books because they're convenient, but Martin Katz said that at one of our master classes, and I thought, God, you know, because when I was in school, it's like I always just use the aria book. Who cares? But at any rate, let's go. So let's go from there, and let's do again, not wee, but so it's really high in legato, right? Going. Good. Let's do the words. Let's do the top of that page, the top of 341, La Merai. And just so on the word, so here, Emily, just try to not over enunciate. Let's say you're going to under enunciate so that you really feel the vowels all lined up, right? I. Just speak that Italian for me. Just speak that. Sort of intone it.
Anche tu.
Yeah, la mera. Are you doing the E? Are you doing la merai anche tu? So it really feels like just a big long vowel. So next one, speak the next one. Oh, it's the same thing. So let's try that. La merai.
La merai anche tu.
Good. How did that feel? Not great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it because you were trying to do too much ooey ooey in there? Were you thinking about that? Because
No, I'm beating myself up for
you'll beat
things.
yourself up. This is just fun. This is fun for me. You know, for me to hear somebody with a terrific voice and I get to work on this aria. So we're just having fun. But I think this there, I could tell you it wasn't going to go well because you went no man, right? So again, you want to make sure you're a little bit gathered there, right? But not overly mouthy. So just sing that phrase. Just sing that phrase on an O. But I want to say this to you, Emily. Make sure that you're taking care of business. I always say, what are the things in this scenario that you can control? Well, not much, right? When you get into an audition, it's like I got nothing. You can control how you stand. You can control that. You can control how you take your breath in. That's on the list, right? How am I going to take my breath in? Well, I'm gonna raise my palate, open my pharynx, lower my larynx, and expand my rib cage, right? Maybe not saying all those things because that might tie in knots, but maybe the early onset of the yawn, let's say that. You can control that. That's two big things. So just think about those things before you sing that next phrase on your favorite vowel and just let it rip.
Are we doing both phrases or the second one?
Is it easier to do both? I think it makes more sense to do both because it makes it harder, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Does that feel better?
Mm-hmm.
It was better. It was better. And you were actually was that an O that you were singing or?
Yeah, I think it was an O.
It had a lot of ooh in it, which I kind of liked. It was good. Let's try it on the text. So just with that feeling, that was beautiful. I don't want you to beat yourself up because first of all, this is also not an easy aria. Can I ask what other arias you sing?
I've sung Donde Lieta, A Fugi il Traditor. What else have I sung? Every song I've ever sung just left my brain. I'm so sorry.
So, I know you're a senior. It's not like you have 37 arias, right? But that was much better. Let's keep going. So is it easier for you to sing with your recording?
I can.
I don't need you to. I just want to make you a little bit more comfortable. Let's
Fine.
So let's go let's go from that phrase and then keep going to the next one, okay? So again, that was beautiful. Think about being as slidey as you can. La almost like you're shimmering on every single note. Like it's just super slippery. Keep going. Good. Good. I yeah, I think. Do you mind doing a little slidey, just like a oh, really almost siren-y, not heavy, just like you're just sighing this octave. Can you hear that? Can you hear my keyboard? Yeah, but prepare. I mean, it's sort of a combination of singing and oh, really slidey. When you do that, when you're singing your high notes, because everybody's a little bit different, are you thinking about your soft palate feeling like it's getting higher, or is it wider, or what are you thinking about? Or not high notes necessarily, just singing, because that wasn't high. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking about making space in my mouth to make the sound.
Good. Okay. Yeah. Do you ever think about the sort of, like back where your uvula is, where the arches are? Do you ever think about that sort of getting a little bit wider as you go up occasionally?
Yeah.
Is that, yeah. That's kind of what I wonder about when you're at the bottom score, io chiudo stanca, that line that that when you go up for the A flat, let's try that. So just start that phrase at io chiudo stanca gli occhi. Do you see where I am? Is that an okay place to start?
Yeah.
So just really give yourself release, right? When you take your breath. So that you're already breathing that A flat, right? If you don't do that, then it's not going to be as much fun. Does that feel better or worse?
It felt better.
I think it was better. Can you do it one more time? Again, I know this is stuff that you hear in your lessons. I'm just reminding you of it. But I think what I do see in you when you're, because it's rarely about a high note, it's usually about what comes before it. And what I'm hearing in that sort of upper, if you want to say the P word, it's, around just the sort of upper middle is that you're, I think it's great that you want to feel it with a kind of focus, but I don't think you want to close your jaw. I think you want that to be released, right? Prima di questa. So even though you're thinking maybe in a higher place, nice released jaw, you know? So just try that again, a little bit more width in the back. Beautiful. That's beautiful. Keep going. Sorry, I'm not going to keep playing. Can you just slide that a little bit more? I know it's just so that it's really legato. Good. How did that feel?
Good. Yeah.
Good. I think the last phrase, I could tell you weren't happy with the B. I can tell from your face, but I thought it was good. It was lots better. I think, yeah, and I think the more that you work on this, the more sort of you want to think about the style. I mean, I think for somebody, I would maybe, you know, listen to Freni or somebody like that who it's just so beautiful and so legato and so lyric, which somebody, you know, it is a lyric role, but it's also, you know, it's a big girl part, isn't it? I mean, this is a difficult aria. You've done very well with it. I think my takeaway, I mean, the thing I think is legato. Really work on not over pronouncing, keeping your diction clear. You know, the whole notion that well, I won't get into all that, but just that you're not chewing and holding your middle voice, especially in your mouth, because then then it's almost too late when you're trying to go higher, right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Sense? Great. You're terrific. Really, really great. Great to work with you. Bravo.
Thank you.
Nice job.
Great work.
Okay, for our last singer is Samantha Resser, mezzo-soprano graduate student. And Samantha, you're doing Liebstum Schönheit.
My name is Samantha Resser, and I will be performing Liebstum Schönheit by Gustav Mahler. Liebstum Schönheit und nicht mich liebe, liebe die Sonne.
Lovely.
Thank you. Thank
Really
you.
great to hear you. And well, you know, this is a gorgeous, gorgeous song, and you sang it beautifully, and you're wonderfully expressive, and you clearly have a wonderful instrument. Tell me a little bit about, are you doing these on a recital? Or are you just doing this song, or what?
I'm doing, I'm not doing the whole, um, the whole, song cycle, but I am doing this on my master's recital with some other selections by Mahler in April.
Nice. What other selections?
Selections from Mahler's Des Knaben Wunderhorn.
Nice. Great. Terrific. Well, um, tell me a little bit about this song. And I mean, I like to sort of ask some questions about you just because it gives me a little bit of insight. Can I ask what arias you sing? It just gives me a little bit of point of reference for how your voice kind of works.
I sing Voi lo sapete from Cavalleria Rusticana, Sein wir wieder gut from Ariadne auf Naxos, and then I'm starting to work on Odon Fatale and Wie du warst from Rosenkavalier.
Good. Cool. So that gives me that helps me help you. So tell me what you know about this song.
The poetry and the music are like one. In the poetry, me, the singer, is saying, like, if you love beauty, then go love the sun because it's got the golden hair. If you love youth, then love the spring because youth comes with spring every year. If you love riches, go look at the Meerfrau, the mermaid who's clad in pearls. But if you love for love me because I have so much to give. And if you love me, I will love you. Love me for love. I will love you always.
Great. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's actually, you know, he didn't necessarily write them all to be performed together. This was later than the other that we consider. I'm sure you know this, that he wrote it for Alma.
Yes.
Yeah, when she was preggers.
Yes.
And you know, the things that the piece is about, right, are sort of things that the two of them were sort of points in their relationship, and they list them in this song and also dismiss them. So, you know, beauty, right, which that was the thing with Gustav, because Alma was beautiful. His age, which they again, and then his sort of disdain for earthly sort of wealth and stuff like that. So it's kind of interesting. Some fun facts.
Yeah, absolutely.
So tell me what you liked about what's working.
What's working for me is the Fs, the high notes at the top. I like being able to get lost in those high notes, and the text make it really easy because it's just, the poetry is just so rich. I really like that.
Good. What do you feel like? What are you not crazy about?
I feel like I could get lost more in the piece, with both, like, musically. I want to be more freer with the piece because the poetry is so beautiful and the music is so beautiful, and just I would like to feel more free in the singing, if that makes sense.
I mean, I think the thing to remember about this piece, and even if you think about them in reference to the other four, let's say, even not the other ones is that this one is simple. I mean, not only did it come later, you know, he wrote the others in the summer of, I think, 1901, and this was 1902 in the summer. So it was the last sort of joyful song that he wrote. Again, this is just interesting stuff, I think, if you're studying Mahler to know. But I think the thing to remember about this song is that it's quite simple. it's of the five, it's the sort of most straightforward. It's strophic. It's harmonically very straightforward. It's not terribly, it's very, so I think the thing that you want to tap into is just honesty and just, you know, and just, which you are. But I think, you know, it's less is more. It's like sing the words, you know, liebst du Schönheit. You know, it's so that's my sort of artistic bit. I think vocally, I think it's beautiful, and I knew that. That's why I asked you. I thought, okay, I'll bet she sings, you know, Svishny, higher, more dramatic stuff, and I was right. And so, I mean, I happen to think this song is. I think, you know, when you're singing it with an orchestra, it's like, oh, and I think you should feel free to let it not be precious.
Okay.
I really do. I mean, I don't think it's a screamy song, you know, but I think, can we just work through it a little bit? And again, I'm not interested in trying to reinvent the wheel or upset your apple cart. But I have some thoughts, and I might be wrong, but let's play a little bit.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, just start it. Do you have a pitch?
Yeah, I got a pitch.
All right.
Liebst du Schönheit, oh nicht mich liebe, liebe die Sonne, sie trägt ein goldenes Horn.
Good. I think what I want to say to you about this in particular piece is that it probably isn't like, you know, your operatic stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And so you might have to be a little bit crafty.
Okay.
You know, just in how you set yourself up. I think like the beginning, are you doing it? Let's see, you're doing, okay, yeah. So, oops, sorry, hang on. Instead of li, which I hear sort of a lot, I love chest connection, but I think you want to feel a little bit more of, not lighter necessarily, but I think you have enough voice that it can feel maybe a little more sigh is what I'm after.
Okay, yes.
Just so it has a little more liebst du Schönheit. Can you just tone that around that pitch? Liebst.
Liebst du Schönheit.
I think that's already better. I think, you know, I like that you're tall, that your production is tall, you know, and that I'm not seeing a lot of spread. I think that's wonderful. But I think you could maybe gather a little bit more. I don't think you need quite as much guts on the liebst du. Do you know? Does
yes.
that make sense? Yes. Because I mean, it's a G, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, I just a little more of that, and so that you're sort of on the train to get to the F.
Okay.
Yeah, let's try that. So how do you get that? I would say right now, maybe feel a little bit like you're rounding your vowels slightly.
Okay.
Schönheit. And it may feel a little bit darky, and that's okay. And not necessarily in your mouth like that, but like liebst du Schönheit, liebst du Schönheit. A little more released.
On the same note, or?
No, sing the phrase.
Liebst du Schönheit, oh nicht mich liebe, liebe die Sonne, sie trägt ein goldenes Horn.
How did that feel?
That feels a lot better. It feels more focused, and I don't feel like I'm climbing up the hill to get
What it sounds like. It just sounds like you're sort of starting at, you're on the track of the place that you want to go to. Now, if you're singing Eboli, you probably won't want to do it that way. But for this, I think I think this is good. And also, let me hear Sie trägt ein goldnes. I mean, the other thing about this piece is the rubato is sort of written in, isn't it? Yeah, but let's just carry on where we left off. Liebst du umschön. Same thing. I would just say my advice is, again, all the things that you got to take care of business, right? That's on you. Your preparation, the feeling of lift and lowering here.
Okay.
Liebst du, but just a little slightly more roundy ooiness, so that yeah.
Okay.
Liebst du Jugend und nicht mich liebe, lieber den Frühling, der jung ist jedes Jahr.
Good. I'm gonna do that phrase again. How's your breath going? Do you feel like you're really connecting? I mean, I think you are, but I think you could maybe just think a little bit more about, middle voice eats air like nothing else. So you want to really feel that sort of pelvic floor. You're a grad student, so I can talk about, so just that feeling of sort of resistance and all the time. Yeah. I'm sure you know what that is because I know Loretta. Can we just try that? I liked that better. There's something, on Liebe, on the, and again, I don't want you to micromanage. That's not what I'm after. So I'm just giving you some ideas, and then you can go back and put them in your deal here, Samantha, because I don't want you to feel like you're, but I think on the C here, da, 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 again, oh, nicht mich liebe. So it's not li, because the E vowel is intrinsically chesty, isn't it? An E vowel and A vowel, that's going to bring in some chest, which we love, and we don't want that to go away, but we don't want it to dominate in this situation. In this situation, we want a little bit more, head resonance, for lack of a better word. So Liebe, one more time, Liebe.
Liebst du Jugend und nicht mich liebe, lieber den Frühling, der jung ist jedes Jahr.
Yes. Da dee da dee da da, so that you can get through that and really right. Beautiful. For me, that was better.
It felt a lot. It felt freer, and like you said, it didn't feel micromanaged to get down to the yar. Yes.
And again, I want to say this to you because again, you're a graduate student. If we were working on an aria, I wouldn't probably be working in this way, because again, I always think that let's face it, all we want is balance in our singing, right? Balance of forward and back, up and down, head voice and chest voice, and finding the right sort of registration of that. And usually, when you have a strong instrument, I could hear it. That it's great that you have like a sort of chesty production in the middle of your voice, because that's what if you sing Italian opera, you got to have that, but with this, I think, again, the word I like to use is crafty, because it's still your instrument. You're just being a little bit clever about how you negotiate this. Let's carry on. This is a short song. It's beautiful. Same thing.
Liebst du umschön
Reize und nicht mich liebe, lieber den Meerfrau, sie hat viel Perlenklar. Liebst du Liebe, oh ja, mich liebe mich immer, dich lieb ich
Good. Do you feel like you're just walking on eggshells though?
a little bit, yes.
That I really don't. I don't want you to feel like you're walking on eggshells.
Okay.
I'd much rather you sing out Louise. But if you're gonna sing this song, you gotta serve it, and that's what I mean. That's the rub, you know. But I don't want you to think that you have to sing this in a sort of eggshelly way. I know how it feels. I mean, I always feel like I'm on eggshells when I sing this song. I do. So I think balance between release, but maybe not sort of over engaging, for lack of a better word, the sort of speech. You know, Liebe ist Liebe. Liebe ist, but not so lifty that you feel like you're not singing. A couple of musical things. Again, this is, I don't know what this is this Baron? I don't know what version this is, but I think pay attention to the hairpins when you have them.
Okay.
I would definitely do the Liebe mich immer. At the very end, I would really do those accents.
Okay.
Again, not overly, but from your heart. You know, it's not a gesture. It's there because it's, you know. And again, this last phrase, again, fun fact, it was sort of Mahler's ideal of love, the very last, love me always, always and forevermore. He's sort of, he was a nutcase in a way, but yeah, I think just, we got a minute. Just let's do the whole thing. And let's see if you can sort of manage to feel like you're inviting, let's say, you're inviting a little bit more sort of sigh into your sound without feeling like you're lifting and that you can't sing. Okay. I'll feel better if we leave in a little bit more balanced way.
Okay.
Okay. Do we have time to do the whole thing? It's really short. I know it's almost 10, but you got a little short change, but you have a short piece. So. All right.
Liebst du Schönheit und nicht mich liebe, lieber die Sonne, sie trägt ein goldenes Haar.
Good, good. I think there are lots of good things happening. I know that you want to try to do something different on that last F. I think I didn't mind that, but I think you could just think about the word and remember that, often I say this, sometimes dynamics are really, they're just about your intention. And the word im, right? Yeah, and make sure that you double that M. And yeah, I think listen, this is delicious, and there are lots of things for you to. I just think that what you don't want to do with a song like this is anything. It's really, just it comes from the inside. It comes from the text. It comes from. I did notice in your video there were gestures, and sometimes that's fine in art song. I think in this, I just don't think you need to do that.
Okay.
If anything, maybe, and this actually might be, because the other thing that I will leave you with, and I can say this because Lou's my friend, is just to think a little bit more that you're not lifting here. Again, that's not something, I can't get into that in a master class, the laryngeal position, that you really feel like when you take your breath in, that's really dropping.
Okay.
That's really, that it really, I know that sounds like I'm, leaving you with something, an open-ended thing, but, and because I know your teacher, I know I can say that, so.
Yes.
But really beautiful work. Beautiful. I would love to hear you sing one of your big arias sometime. Terrific.
That would be great. Thank you so much.
It's just my pleasure. Brava.
Everybody help me unmute and help me to thank Nancy. This has been a wonderful experience. So spot on, so generous. Thank you.
Students, really, they're all just wonderful and open and talented, and thank you for having me. It was really, everybody terrific.
We're glad you came. I'm gonna call you on the weekend, Nancy.
All right, honey.
Okay.
Bye.
I'll take care. Good work, everybody.
Thank you, Tyler. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Nancy. We're so grateful you came.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thanks for having me. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Carol.
Thanks, Carol.
Thank you both. Thank you.
Thank you.